The sky isn't blue today, no. In fact, we have dark days ahead as Skye Blue left the ring last night very upset. But what made her upset? Was it harassment from a male fan, or was it the fact she got demoted to wrestling in Ring of Honor? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Little diss there at Ring of Honor, but I'd be crying too if I had to wrestle on that shit show. But there is news breaking that following the May 8th edition of Dynamite, Skye Blue was having a Ring of Honor match against Rachel Ellering. It was being taped after Dynamite, so there's this thing where they do the Ring of Honor tapings after Dynamite, and Tony Khan pretty much has to beg the Dynamite audience, which isn't that big to begin with, and he has to kind of beg them to stick around and watch Ring of Honor. I don't know, maybe he offers them free hot dogs or something like that, fuck knows. But that's what's happening. So Skye Blue, Rachel Ellering taking place after Dynamite on Ring of Honor tapings. However, Reddit user Wintertime13 has wrote on Twitter that Skye Blue was having the match and that she began to get harassed by a fan in the front row who was making, let's say, some not very nice comments towards Skye Blue. So this is what the Reddit user Winter13 wrote. He said, quote, "A man in the front row continued to make vulgar comments about Skye, commenting on her body, calling her baby girl, the whole shebang. The whole match wouldn't stop when people around him told him to shut the fuck up. He just got louder. Aubrey Edwards finishes reffing the match and screams for him to be kicked out to security. Both AEW security and arena security were involved. More people were called when he put up a fight. He had a child with him. Skye left the ring quickly and was very upset. Really awful thing to observe in 2024. End of quote." Now, it really doesn't surprise me that Aubrey Edwards is screaming after the match, because she just seems like she has to be the centre of attention. Even when you look at the way she referees matches, she's trying to steal the show. She's trying to be the focus point, which is a horrible way to referee. As a referee, you don't want to be seen, you don't want to be noticed unless you're actually getting physical or you're having an argument with the wrestler, like Earl Hebner used to do with Triple H. You know, that's the only way you should really be noticed as a ref. But Aubrey Edwards, everything has to be about her. It's funny that she's screaming at security, because when we seen the CM Punk and Jack Perry thing, she bolted for the door, so she's obviously a shite bag. This isn't someone who's tough. She's not going to throw somebody at herself or get in someone's face herself. But enough about Audrey Edwards. Cannot stand her. Don't want to talk about her much longer. But yeah, so let's talk about the whole harassment thing. Now, people are saying Skye Blue needs to get thicker skin, a bit like her ass. You know, her ass is thick. Maybe she needs to grow skin that thick. Oh, there you go, ass joke. Wow, Bannis. Anyway, people are saying she needs to get thicker skin because in ECW, the fans would chant, "Get your tits out," and all that stuff, right? First of all, this is 2024, it's not 1997, and as much as I preferred wrestling in that era, you just can't really say things like that, okay? It's not acceptable. You can't be in an arena, especially with kids, you know, like, wrestling now is like a family thing where people bring their children. Yes, it needs to be edgier. Yes, they need to do more. They definitely could push boundaries a lot more than they do, but there's certain things that just can't be really done, or things that can't be really said. And like chanting "Get your tits out" in 2024 when you've got kids in it, that's just not acceptable. So people comparing this to ECW, I mean, it's not really the same thing. Plus, ECW is this weird fucking culture phenomenon group where it was like this hardcore base where anything goes. There's not many things I've seen in life like ECW. There's things you could get away with doing or saying in ECW that just wouldn't really fly anywhere else in any era. So I don't think comparing this to ECW is the right way to go. Now, the user said he called Skye Blue baby girl. Now, I can understand if, unless maybe you're dating someone, then you're technically not their baby girl, and you might not like somebody calling you that. But if that is the worst thing he said, then did he really cross the line? Because yes, you can cross the line, definitely, but I don't think saying the word baby girl is crossing the line. Now, apparently, he said more vulgar stuff than this, but if that's the case, wouldn't it be reported? Wouldn't you use the worst thing he said as an example to showcase how bad this guy was, or to showcase how vulgar he was, or to get him banned, or what not? I can't imagine that if he said things that were a lot worse than baby girl, the only thing you would quote him for saying would be, baby girl. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're on a tirade against someone and you unleash like F bombs and you call them all these horrible names, and then someone quotes, he was saying some bad stuff, like he called them a numpty, like that's not really that bad. So like surely you would use one of the more offensive things that the person said. However, according to this person, baby girl that's the most they're willing to quote. So I mean, who really knows what happened to you? Apparently Skye Blue left the ring after the match. Would it be fine to call her baby girl on her Patreon account if you're paying to call her that? Then possibly she wouldn't mind it as much then, but maybe in a wrestling show, I don't know, maybe she wants you to respect her more. Now, some people are saying that she shows off a lot of her assets, a lot of revealing clothes. I mean, which female wrestler doesn't, to be honest? There's a few, but most of them do, alright? Most of them do. And people are saying that doesn't mean that they should be getting called this. And I can see both sides, but it kind of comes with the territory. For example, Val Venus. The guy had like a porn star gimmick, okay? He couldn't really do that. He couldn't really get in the ring and take his towel off sexually and then complain. He couldn't complain if some woman was like wolf whistling calling him or whatever, if he's acting that way. The Rock can't be talking about pie. The Rock can't be talking, about his little Minnie Johnson and then complain that there's females that are interested or that are sexualizing him. Because if you're sexualizing yourself, then you're going to be sexualized in return. It's just the way it works. And Skye Blue does wear revealing clothing. Skye Blue does have, I believe, a Patreon where she like uploads exclusive stuff. It's basically OnlyFans, but she doesn't want, I guess, to be tarnished as an OnlyFans girl, so she uses Patreon instead. But it's the way it is. Like I said, with Val Venus and The Rock, those guys sexualized themselves, and the women liked them. The women wanted to be them. The women gave Val Venus a shitload of attention. The Rock talked about his strudel, and the women wanted his strudel. That's just the way it goes. If you're a female and you dress that way and you're showing off all your skin, then you're going to have guys that want to see you for that. It's like Kelly being an exhibitionist on ECW. It's like, you can't expect to strip down and have guys not want to see, we don't put some clothes on Kelly. We don't want to see that. We want to see you wrestle. I mean, if people didn't want to see Kelly wrestle after she was stripped naked on ECW, then can you blame them? No, you can't. So, I mean, that's pretty much how I feel about the whole thing. Mike Johnson of PW Insider noted the fan was ejected from the arena after security had words with him. Johnson went on to say, quote, "Earlier in the evening, Saraya pointed out several front fans at ringside on camera on Dynamite, saying they were creeps. We are told one of them she pointed at would have been the same fan. We are told AEW officials were praising both Skye and Ellering for keeping the bout together despite the obvious distraction." End of quote. So yeah, I mean, if this guy's went too far, then I think you have to kick him out, because it's a family friendly arena, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day, and I mean, no one deserves to be abused or have anything that is too vulgar said to them. But if all he said was baby girl, then I mean, is that really worthy of being kicked out? I'm going to assume he said worse than that, but at the same time, I think if he did, it would have been quoted. So, but yeah, I mean, people are way too sensitive now. I mean, back in the day, a lot worse would have been said than this, but I get it, man. It's 2024. It is what it is. So, yeah, let us know what you think down below. And, yeah, Skye Blue leaves the ring in tears, because some guy was I guess, finding her attractive, but you're not allowed to find her attractive in AEW. You can only find her attractive on her Patreon, so go subscribe to it, guys. Anyway, there you go. So there you go, a cheap little plug there for Fog Wrestling. Don't say, Skye Blue, that we've never done anything good for you. There you go, we put you over in wrestling talk. So yeah, anyway guys, catch you in the next one. Till then, let us know your thoughts down below, and peace.